Yo.
Hey. We here?
What's good, man?
What's good? Feeling good today.
Yeah. Another episode. Another episode of Fight Night. Gerard not here. So of course I
course
gotta
not.
do everything myself.
Of course not. You know, you can never rely on Gerard. It's just what he does.
But go ahead and get your intro off, man.
Woo! First off, free to go. I know he's already out, but I don't care. I ain't had a chance to say it. Free to go. My boy Caruso didn't deserve to be locked up for a little bit of weed. No. Start off with that. Second off,
Whatever.
fuck the Clippers. Haha. Third off, you know me, West Coast champion of this here shit. Champion, y'all know what it is. Fucking acknowledge me. It's always around. Champ is here. Corey motherfucking Hansford in the building. Long Beach.
Paper champion. Paper champion.
This, if it was paper, I could rip this, and I can't rip this like I do paper. So I don't really know what you're talking about. Great to be the champ.
Whatever you say. Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy, Mr. Zero Dark 30, Mr. Blackout season coming soon. It's the 2K GOAT. I don't know if y'all saw the gaming stream earlier, but your boy was cooking the fuck up earlier. I might need that belt when we get to Memphis for that shit. But anyway, Malik the motherfucking guy. Huh? What's good?
I'll let you have that. Yeah, you can have the 2K thing. I already know. We played that. I ain't even trying to fuck with you in 2K.
You already know.
I'll give you that one. That ain't me.
But before we get started, of course, we have to pay some bills. You know what I'm saying? If you want to help support us, all you have to do is look at the bottom of the screen, go to merch at the shop.store. We got t-shirts, we got socks, we got joggers, we got apparel for women. We got, if you want to get ready for the winter time, there's hoodies. I shouldn't even say hoodie because we in this fucking heat wave and it's burning the fuck up over here. But like I said, if you want to support us, go ahead and do that. Also go to Twitch. Make sure you subscribe. Trying to get affiliate status on that as well. So make sure you do that to support us, man. Make sure you do that. But yeah, I guess we get to the first topic of the day.
Let's get it going.
There's a fight this weekend, so we want to talk about Cyril Gane versus Volkov. What was your opinion on this, sir?
Disappointed in Volkov. First off, you know what? Let me not even do that. Congrats to Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane looked. This was by far, to me, his most impressive showing. He continues to improve, and he looked much more like the championship prospect that people were touting him as for his last couple of fights. His speed at the heavyweight division is fucking ridiculous. And I'm not sure if that's what really threw Volkov off, but from the beginning, Gane was the aggressor. He put the pressure on Volkov, and, you know, he won the fight pretty easily. The aggression and the precision from Volkov that we had seen in the last couple of fights was just nowhere to be found. And, I mean, in fairness, Gane moves a lot more and a lot quicker than Alistair Overeem at this stage. So it makes sense. But, you know, Gane, there's no other way around it. Gane beat shit out of him, clearly. So kudos to him. You know, we're going to get to what's next for him in a second, and that shit is wild. But, you know, at the end of the day, the man had to win the fight to make all this shit happen, and he did exactly that.
Right. From what I did see in the fight, it was clear Gane was the aggressor. I don't know what was going on with Volkov or why he was so gunshot. There was times I saw him move forward, but he didn't pull the trigger. He would kind of move forward, throw a jab. Gane would counter it, and then Volkov would be back up against the cage. So I don't know what's going on with Volkov, man. That's not the Volkov that we've seen in the past couple of fights. Especially when he getting Overeem the fuck out of there. That kind of was like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that was an eye opener for real.
Yeah, we figured he'd make a jump after that. I don't know if it's Don's stance that kind of gave him trouble, or the speed that you're talking about. I don't know if it was that. You know what I mean? Because he did hit him with a lot of counter shots from what I saw.
He hit him with some counters and some combos. He wasn't throwing a lot of 1-2 punches. Gane was coming with 3, 4, 5 punches really quickly, and it felt like Volkov. The only thing Volkov felt comfortable throwing was leg kicks.
Right. Yep.
And his leg kicks were good. He was hitting a lot of leg kicks, which is what led to some of the weird stats where it was like, yeah, he's landing more significant strikes than Gane. And it's like, well, 90% of those seem like they're leg kicks, which have their place and are effective, but you got to follow that up as well. And he wasn't doing that. The hand speed just seemed to be at a different level. And it felt like once Volkov kind of was like, shit, I can't hit him. I can't catch him. The only thing I can hit him with is leg kicks, so keep throwing leg kicks. That's almost what it felt like. Of course, we can't start that off. Well, we can't start the show without this.
Fucking casual.
Of course.
But yeah, man, I don't really have too much to say about the fight. It's good to see Cyril Gane, like we were talking backstage. It's good to see him starting to improve every fight. Like I think you mentioned it. You said this is the Cyril Gane that they said had the potential to be what he is currently, and he's done so well that apparently now they want to give him an interim title fight against Derek Lewis. I'm gonna let you get your thoughts off on it before I go to fuck off myself.
I hate interim title fights like this. I hate them. It's not that these two aren't deserving, because they both are. Like, make that very clear. The fight itself, I have no problem with whatsoever. Gane versus Lewis is a great fight to make. It should be an awesome fucking fight.
Mm-hmm.
And Ngannou won his title in March, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
3 months. He ain't got no major injury. He's not refusing to defend the belt. He simply said, from what I understand, from what's kind of been out there, hey, August is a little bit too soon for me. I've been out, doing some things, have my own things to do. Talking heavyweights here. Every 3 months is nice, especially for heavyweights. That's good. 3 months is good rates for the lighter weight people to stay in there. Like, he said a month later. Like, he would, from what I saw, was like they wanted August. He said, I can do September.
Yeah,
like, I'm not going to be ready. Like, I can do September. So he's not refusing to defend the belt.
Right.
Why are we like? It's just more signs and more proof of how controlling Dana White and the UFC are trying to be. And from a lot of it, I've seen it's not even just Dana. I think it was Ariel Helwani who was like, really, a lot of it is Hunter Campbell, who kind of took over the main matchmaking role since once they sold to WME. That is constantly threatening to strip people, like they just want people to shut up and fight when they want them to fight. And the fighters are like, yeah, no, like we can't, I'm not ready right now. Just do it this time. And they don't want to accept that. This is fucking ridiculous. Now what the fuck are we about to do with the heavyweight division? So explain this to me. We have Cyril Gane and Derek Lewis who are now going to fight for an interim title. We still have an undisputed champion who wants to fight, isn't afraid to fight, but just didn't want to fight on the exact date you wanted him to. We got John Jones and Stipe still sitting in the fucking back with nothing to do. What the fuck is about to happen now with the heavyweight division? Because y'all sat up here and got all angry for no fucking reason that guys don't follow your every damn order, and now the heavyweight division is in a fucking shit show.
Right. I don't know if there's something in between Dana and Francis, because remember, there was a long layoff in between Cormier and Stipe, and they made the Rosenstrike and Ngannou fight.
Ngannou.
But he didn't want to make that an interim fight. So right. I don't get like, and another point. With them brushing him to fight, y'all niggas didn't take the belt off Khabib, even though Khabib was saying he was fucking retired for months. You didn't want to take the belt off him or make an interim title fight. Meanwhile, you had all these fucking fights going on. You didn't want to give Poirier the title.
You could have made Poirier McGregor if you wanted to really build up a fight and we need a title for every fight and that makes it bigger. You had McGregor, Poirier that you could have made for a title and you chose not to.
Right. So I don't get it. I don't know. What's good, Fraz? Appreciate the support.
Appreciate it, Fraz. My guy, relax.
Turn my mother loving light mic up. But yeah, I don't get it, man. I don't know what's going on with Dana at this point. This one confuses me. Like, even the Khabib shit, I could kind of understand a little bit. You're hoping that Khabib sees what's going on in the division and it lights a fire under him. He wants to fight. He's one of your highest grossing fighters, one of the greatest of all time. I get it. But this, like, immediately when I saw it, like, you saw me on the post, I was like, yo, bro, this is bullshit. I don't know what the fuck this is. Like, this is crazy. Like, it's not, and I'm not saying it's not going to be an entertaining fight, but this is not what I want to see. Like, I'm just sorry. I get Cyril Gane just beat Volkov. I get it. I get the Derek Lewis aspect because you were talking about Derek Lewis versus Ngannou. I don't understand why you didn't just go ahead and go on with that. You could have waited. You could have waited a fucking month, and then just went ahead and did the Lewis and Ngannou fight. But
are you that afraid? Is it a matter of you're afraid that Amanda Nunes isn't going to draw enough, and that you need something else on that card? So you need to have a title fight added on to that?
It's possible. I don't know. I don't get it, bro. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've tried to think about it. I've thought about it all week, trying to see if there's been like a valid reason behind this.
There isn't. There's not. It's literally just at the beck and call of the UFC. And then they feel like making a fucking interim title fight, they're gonna make an interim title fight. And there's no rhyme. The most annoying part of it is that there is no rhyme or reason to any of it.
Right.
There's no standards to it.
Right.
If there is a fighter who is hurt and is going to be out for an extended period, makes sense.
Another thing. Are they stripping Aljamain?
No, and he actually had surgery.
There's no interim fight going there.
No interim title fight. None.
So that's my point. Like, I feel like this is like a personal agenda against Ngannou, because this is not the first time Ngannou's had problems with the UFC and Dana.
Yeah, but that's how it always. It's always something, and that's as much as the UFC benefits from a figurehead like Dana White, who is open and willing to talk and say whatever the fuck out to the media, like, that helps them. It kind of helps their brand, because you'll never see fucking Adam Silver or who's the idiot that runs the NFL? Goodell.
Oh, Roger Goodell.
They won't come out and say no shit. Like you won't get that anywhere else.
Right.
That helps their brand. To that same point, you can't let emotional shit like this and personal vendettas. You're still a league. You're still a business. And you're not supposed to let personal vendettas and emotions and shit like that get in the way of business. And that's the problem. Like, that's the issue. And that's the problem that keeps popping up with the UFC and Dana White. It's, oh, you not going to do this? Well, fuck you then. We're going to do this. And I'm going to come out here in the media and put some shit out there and try to make it look like you the one who ain't shit. And there's reasons. So, like, how many times has Dana White looked like an idiot because of saying some shit that he later had to retract on? I've literally seen top 10 lists on YouTube of 10 times Dana White had to, like, apologize or, you know, for just being from things as big as women will never fight in the UFC. Remember when that shit was a thing? Yes, like he shit like that until Ronda Rousey comes around, and now look at what we got. Always shit like that. Like you can't keep doing shit. You're devaluing your like no one's gonna give a fuck. Like whoever wins this fight might hold that over and say you can never say I wasn't a champion in the UFC, but no one's gonna fucking acknowledge that shit.
Not at all.
One of my favorite fighters ever, Carlos Condit. Love Carlos Condit. He was an interim champion, and that was an actual legit interim championship where GSP wasn't fighting for a while, and he won the interim time. No one thinks of Carlos Condit as a UFC champion.
Nope.
Like that and he's a legend with amazing some of the greatest fights in the history of the UFC to his name. No one thinks of him as a legend.
Didn't El Kukui win the interim championship?
Yes, he did.
Justin Gaethje?
Did Gaethje?
Yep.
Probably. I don't. Oh, right, because it could be. You might be right. I can't recall, but
was it
Ferguson for sure? Ferguson for sure. Poirier definitely. Poirier Max Holloway. Poirier Max Holloway was for the interim lightweight title. Yep.
Yep. So that was who I was thinking about. Poirier. Excuse me.
Yeah.
It was Poirier. Only reason why we consider Poirier a champ is because he's really the rightful champ after beating Conor. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't consider him a champion, even though he won the interim championship. You get what I'm saying? So
everyone acknowledged that he was next in line.
Another one.
Kobe
Covington.
Same. Yep.
Another one.
And that whole thing was weird.
Yeah.
That whole thing was weird.
Yeah.
And it's like an interim like you said, Francis is still the undisputed heavyweight champion. There is no doubt about that. So, and he's not hurt or away. So literally this interim champion means nothing. So now when there's times where there should be an interim champion, God forbid Jan Blachowicz gets hurt and he's out for a year or something like that. And we need to, like, those are the times when it needs to happen so the division can keep moving. This isn't a case where a division is being held up. This is a case of a fighter didn't want to fight on the exact day that you wanted, so you're making some other shit for business decisions. And for a casual person, that will help. For the casuals out there who aren't really sure about anything and you see interim title, you automatically assume, okay, these are two of the top. These are two of the top. These are definitely two of the top fighters in the world. I don't know what's happening, but these got to be two of the top fighters in the world. So this is a fight worth watching. To that point, I understand it, but you devalue an interim championship when you're making it for bullshit reasons like this.
Right. Another example I thought of when Izzy went up to light heavyweight, you didn't make an interim championship.
Right. Whitaker had to fight everybody. Whitaker went through the whole goddamn top 5. Waiting for Izzy to get his damn Izzy rematch. Right.
So, like, it's just great. Like, I don't know. It's got to be something deeper, man. It's got to be something deeper, especially with it being so close. Like, I can understand. Even if Ngannou was out for 5-6 months, after that could be
still not long enough. That's still not long enough.
That's my point. I don't know where Dana is at on this. Like, I don't know.
I need 9 months to a year. I need 9 months to a year inactivity. Minimum. Or like, someone's hurt. Someone tore his ACL and you happen to have a matchup between the next two guys a couple months later, but he's out. I get that. Cool. Like, I don't have a problem. We need to know, though, like, he's out or he or she is out 9 months, 12 months, shit like that. And now you want to keep that division going? I'm okay with that. Right. Even a fucking, and that wasn't even an interim, but it felt like it when John Jones got suspended and Cormier, and it was Cormier and Rumble, and they made that, but that wasn't even an interim belt. That was for the belt. But like, it felt like interim title, but that was the point of we got to keep the division going. And when John Jones came back, he was supposed to come straight for Cormier and Cormier got hurt. Everything got weird, but like That's the point of it. You keep the division going. There's no division being held up. And that's the bullshit. And that's why Dana and Ngannou's management got into it.
Yeah. Perfect segue into the next topic. I read this shit when you told me about it.
Dog, this is one of the best promos of the year. Shout out to CAA. And CAA ain't no bullshit. And that's why I like them. I'm glad more fighters are starting to get real management outside of UFC people. CAA deals with athletes and clients and leagues, and they're not going to deal with any of that bullshit that the UFC and Dana White tries to do. And that's why you have moments like this. So, for those who are unaware, Francis Ngannou's manager, Markel Martin, spoke to Brett Okamoto, and his words were, this comes as a complete shock to make an interim title so soon. If you look at the history of this division, it comes as a surprise. Francis is just now returning to the States to begin training, and he just won the title 3 months ago. We're unsure of what the reasoning is behind this, but we hope to get clarity soon and figure out something with the UFC soon. At the end of the day, they're in control of these decisions. That's very reasonable. Very reasonable. Hey, I don't know what's up with this. He didn't bash the UFC. He didn't come at them.
Nope.
You know, I don't know what it is, but hopefully we could work something out. Literally explaining, Francis just came back from the state to the States because he's from Cameroon, France by way of Cameroon. Like, so I'm sure he goes on, like which fighters do. I'm sure Brandon Moreno, we seen Brandon Moreno went back to fucking Mexico. Like, people do that when you have international stars. But here comes Dana on fucking Instagram. So Dana White, in response, says, this dude is so full of shit. All caps. He knows exactly what's going on and isn't shocked at all because we told him several times this was coming. His management is incompetent, and hopefully Francis starts taking a look at new people to help his career.
That's you know, and if you pay attention to how we pay attention to Dana, unless he's talking about Diego Sanchez's manager or Oscar De La Hoya, anytime I've heard him say this guy is full of shit, it's actually been Dana that's full of shit.
Yep.
Every single time.
You know, I like just reading it again. It's very much like 45. It's very much like this isn't what we want. Like, he's incompetent. I hope you would listen to me. They're on the bullshit. Listen to me. You need to get away from those people there and come to the people that I trust, that we trust, because they're gonna do it. Like, that's what it read off to me as just now as reading it over again. Is very much like, no. Like, F them. See, this is the problem. Those people, they disagree. Like, Dana wants you to deal with people who are going to agree with him and who he has good relationships with, because that makes his life easier and ultimately benefits the UFC. These ain't UFC managers. These are athlete managers.
Right.
So, sorry I have to do so much reading, but this is the good one.
This was a 30 to me.
This is a 30. Not a gentleman's 30. Not a gentleman's a 30.
Body bag.
This is a body. This is Charlie Clip's T-Rex. That's what this is. This is a body bag. Okay. So Martin, in response to Dana's White full of shit comment, says, LOL. Complete shock with your decision after we said September was good for us. Complete shock that you guys made threats after less than 3 months after you were all aware. Complete shock after you knew why Francis needed more time. That is correct. I know you're passionate, but trying to discredit my integrity when I've been nothing but respectful to you, Hunter, and your entire staff speaks more about you than it does me. I'm not even mad. I'm actually impressed that I got your attention. In competent management, I think we've done a damn good job. I think you really don't like the fact that Francis is being represented by not only me, but an entire agency, one of which you can't control. Hence
Bingo.
why you have people trying to rep him all the time to your benefit.
Bingo.
Whoo! And then, just to cap it off, I tell you what, let's disclose everything for people to see. Emails, calls, texts, everything. Deal? Because I'm ready to get blackballed by UFC. I'm not defined by it, you, or anyone else for that matter. How's that sound? Sincerely, your old employee, Markel Mark. Bruh.
Mic drop. Mic drop. Mic drop.
Mamba out.
Facts.
What?
Facts. Facts.
Oh my.
Yo, I read that comment because I didn't even know at first. Before you told me, I didn't know that him and his manager were going at it because I haven't like seen too much. So I kind of had a busy week. But when I read that, hey yo, CAA ain't nothing to fuck with, boy. Like I don't know what Dana get. Like this isn't like what I was saying. This isn't Diego Sanchez's manager. Like this is a reputable sports agency. You can't call out a sports agency and call them incompetent because they disagree with your decision. And Homeboy was respectful about it at first.
He really was.
Dana could have just left the shit alone. Period. You didn't have to say nothing else. But here come Dana, wanting to be right, wanting to paint the narrative. And usually, you know me, I'm cool with it. It's happened before. Right. Usually it's hyping up another fight or something like that. So I can kind of understand it. But Dana's getting out of his bag with this one, which is, I'm not going front, is a little shocking to me. Because usually there's a rhyme or reason in what Dana does. You know what I'm saying?
There's some kind of promotion. There's some kind of promotion for it.
Right, or trying to motivate a fighter to go ahead and take the fight or whatever. Francis literally told you he was ready a month after the date that you set. You could have waited. But now you blasting CAA?
You don't fuck CAA like that.
Okay.
Bet.
Okay.
This is the danger in now the UFC growing. We're not just within the MMA bubble anymore. Now we got people rep by CAA. I'm sure soon. You ain't had to deal with Clutch Sports yet. Wait till
imagine Clutch Sports. Imagine clutching them. What?
Let
Clutch.
Let Izzy get rep by Rich Paul. What do you think it's all cool now? Nah, this is what you want. You're a legit mainstream sport now. You got deals with ESPN. You get you get mainstream media everywhere. Every pay-per-view, you're on the bottom line. If you miss a card and you got ESPN on, that shit's gonna be fucking streamed. You gonna get that shit spoiled for you. That shit is everywhere. You're mainstream now. And as you grow, the consequences of that is stuff like this. We outside your box now. CAA ain't for none of that bullshit. We ain't just some little dude who used to fight and knew some people and now I'm trying to get back. Nah. We know what the fuck's going on. We got lawyers everywhere. We reading through all the fine print and every single thing of all these contracts and all the shit that we can run. And we gonna handle that shit appropriately. And Dana thought he was gonna sit up here and get buck and didn't think they was gonna clap back. I guarantee you CAA got everything noted, notarized, and fucking alphabetical, time-stamped, every little thing ready if Dana White wants to go down that road. And I guarantee you he don't. He might make a little comment or something at the press conference after a pay-per-view or something.
Dana's gonna do what Dana always does, especially with the situation in between him and John a couple of times. Dana's gonna act like it's beneath him to release that information like he always does.
Yep. I really don't. What did he think? Like, oh, this is a corporate agency that they're not gonna come down here. Like, was he just really not?
Yo, I'm gonna be real. I don't understand any of this from Dana's perspective. Like,
he's looking worse.
I don't know if he's having a bad week or a bad month or something's happened. Like, that's my point. Like, bro, what the kind of seemed like Dana losing his shit a little bit. Like, yo, what's going on, bro? Like, I don't know. I can't explain it, bro. I'm shocked. Like, I'm shocked by the whole situation. I'm gonna keep it a full buck.
They need to be careful because this is starting to become a trend with high-profile people. Like, you can get away with some shit maybe for some smaller guys, even some smaller champs.
That's a good point.
But now you've got arguably the greatest fighter in MMA history and your heavyweight champion now both with serious issues and you looking bad coming out on the other side of that. And if that keeps becoming a trend, it's going to do a lot of damage to the UFC, to their profile, and some major changes might have to happen, either from a labor, new CBA kind of thing, or Dana might have to get the fuck out. Because you can't keep having these things out in public where the other side is going, well, then release the shit. You want to say this? Because it's always gets said by certain fighters, like, this isn't really what happened, and this, it's always happens. But now, again, you're getting mainstream attention everywhere. And guys are, when John Jones says, then let's really talk, everyone listens. Francis Ngannou and his manager, because of what you started, not because they called you out in a disrespectful way, but hey, I'm surprised by this. Hopefully us and the UFC can talk and we can work something out. And you go out of fucking left field, come out with the bullshit, and they're like, fine, let's release the shit. All of it. Let's see what really said. That keeps happening and you keep ducking that type of smoke, it's gonna make you look worse and worse. And it's only gonna get bigger as the sport continues to grow. And
then another thing, when Conor wanted to fight, he wouldn't let Conor fight. That's another situation where Conor had to say, hey, yo, fuck it, I'm retiring, bro. If you want to play these games,
yep.
Bro, I'll just fucking retire. I don't need to deal with the bullshit, bro. I'm a multi-millionaire.
Poirier with his fights. Poirier's like, fuck, well, no. Poirier said, like, you can see it everywhere. Fighters are more outspoken now than ever because they have a bigger platform. And you get to a point where you can sit here and say, Poirier literally said, fuck the belt. If I'm not fighting the other person who is most deserving of the title aside from me, then fuck it. Just give me the money fight. How does that make your title look? How does that make you look at an organization that everybody else around can say, not just Poirier, your number one active fighter in the division and the champ who retired the champ, both say it should be Poirier and this guy, Charles Oliveira in that case. That's the fight to make, and everybody sees it, and you refuse to do it. And that's all that's out in the public. They're killing themselves with this shit. It's a bad look, and it hasn't hurt them to an extreme yet. But all it takes is one bit, and John Jones might be that domino. And John Jones is big enough to be that. Before they got that bullshit Reebok deal, John Jones sponsored by Nike. John Jones fucked himself up. Like, John Jones fucked up some shit, but he was huge, and he still is.
The thing. This is what worries me. Is that the thing that attracted me to UFC opposed to boxing was that they made the fights that we wanted to see. regardless of what's happening behind the scenes, they always found a way to get the fight done. Now we're seeing the opposite. Now we're seeing the politics come into play. Same thing as boxing. Understand it's not exactly the same. Boxing's a whole another different animal. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, for sure.
But just in what I'm saying, like the politics that are starting to be involved in the UFC are starting to cost us the fights that we want to see. You know what I'm saying? So they better fix this shit, man. They better fix this shit. They better. They
have to.
Because I'm gonna be real. Boxing is kind of starting to get their shit together.
Oh yeah.
Boxing is starting to get their shit together with giving us the fights that we want to see. So if Dana's not careful, all that momentum that you built up this past year, with you being the first in the pandemic, you gonna see some of that shit slide a little bit.
Right.
Especially with your top fighters being pissed off and not wanting to fight.
Yeah.
Big problem.
And seeing and just to add to that, getting more frustrated because they're seeing these bullshit celebrity fights and dudes are getting paid 2, 3, 4 times what they would get. So it's building even more frustration.
Right.
It is a very slippery slope right now for the UFC. Like you said, there are situations where it makes sense. We just saw the Izzy Vettori fight. We all know we wanted Izzy and Whitaker. Certain situations cause Izzy wanted to fight on this date. That just didn't work for Whitaker. That was acknowledged too soon after his last fight, so we made this. Cool. Right. We wanted to do this. Certain fighter got hurt, or it was a short notice thing, or whatever the case. There are certain situations where it makes sense. It's these personal ones. And these are the fights that we want. No, we think Michael Chandler is the number 1 contender. It's not even ranked higher than me, though. We want this fight, and he's ranked higher. Nope, Michael Chandler's in the title fight. Those are the ones. We want Ngannou and John Jones. Jones asked for a ridiculous amount of money. Actually, I'm just asking for what I'm worth based on what y'all are making. We want to run them numbers. Let's run them numbers. We don't have to run our numbers. Okay. Like, you keep putting yourself in a bad light. And like you said, boxing they own ESPN, big ESPN too. And there's a whole lot of fun. We just seen Lomachenko fight again. Teofimo Lopez. We got it's Spence and Pacquiao, if I'm not mistaken. Spence and Pacquiao. You still got Terrence Crawford.
We got the trilogy with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder coming up.
Shakur Stevenson's coming up. You got Bud Crawford, Danny Garcia. Like, there's a lot of people. Like, it's starting to build again, and people are starting to get excited about certain boxing. Be careful, UFC. Be careful.
Yeah. But while we're here, who do you have winning? Derek Lewis against Cyril Gane?
I hadn't given it much thought.
Me neither. I'm just shooting off top.
I'm gonna lean Cyril Gane right now. I know he opened up as a pretty big favorite. I'm gonna lean Cyril Gane, one, because I think his speed is gonna be tough for Derek Lewis to keep up with. And it's just also based on me believing he's going to continue to grow and will take another leap forward by the time the fight comes around. So I'll lean Cyril Gane, but it's
by what decision?
It's by decision.
I don't think he finishes Derek.
I don't think he finishes Derek either. But I struggle seeing Derek being able to keep up with him over a 5-round fight.
I mean, who was Derek Lewis's last opponent?
Dude, good question. He just beat, was it Curtis Blades? Curtis Blades.
That was his last one. That was a while ago.
That was in February. He beat Blades in February by knockout. He's won 4 straight. And he's looked good. The first couple were kind of whatever.
I was about to say his cardio does look a lot better. He looks a little bit more active now than when
he does. Compared to the early Derek Lewis, he's definitely gotten better cardio and has learned to pace himself a lot better for sure. I just think speed-wise, like I think he can go. Well, he's gone 3 rounds. You've never seen him go 5. That Cormier fight didn't last too long. But since the Cormier and the Junior Dos Santos losses, it seemed like that kind of made him switch and really start focusing on, getting his shit right. He's been better. Like he's absolutely looked a lot better cardio wise than he did early in his career.
Right. And what was Volkov ranked?
Volkov was like 4. I think they were 3 and 4. I know Volkov is 5 now.
Do you think Gane is ready for this? Like,
I'll say this.
Because I'm gonna keep it real. Like, I understand Volkov, but Derek Lewis is kind of a big jump. Like, it's not in my mind. In my mind, Derek
I
Lewis
think Volkov was.
Jump from Volkov.
It is, but Volkov, I think, was right there too. He had just beaten Overeem. He had beaten Walt Harris. Like he was on a streak for himself as well. I think that, and I mean, let's be real, he won 14 minutes and 50 seconds of the Derek Lewis fight until he got killed, until he got rocked. Like, he got rocked bad, but he was beating the shit out of Derek Lewis for 98% of that fight and then got caught. So that was a leap up to me for Cyril Gane, was the leap up to Volkov. He was already ranked high, so what's the other options for him are Curtis Blades, which would probably be a dangerous and probably a boring fucking fight because it's Curtis Blades. They're
not putting Curtis back in the title picture.
Right. The only other option I see in that range is Rosenstrike. And that's like those are kind of the only other options. Unless he's fighting Stipe. And I don't think Stipe is trying to do that. I don't think Stipe is coming back. And Stipe is not coming back for Cyril Gane. Stipe will come back for a title fight. Stipe will come back for John. I don't think Stipe would come back for anybody but the title fighter John.
Yeah. I wouldn't think he wants to do an interim title either.
I don't think he would. I don't even think that matters to him. I think it would be solely the names.
Yeah.
Like if it was like you and Jones for the interim title, it'd more so be like, yeah, me and Jones. Like, yeah, I'll do that shit.
Yeah, he'd be like, but fuck the interim title.
Yeah, he don't give 2 shits about the title. They can throw that on there.
He'd be like, fuck that.
Right.
I don't want that.
They can throw that on there, but I think it's Jones or Francis for him. I don't think he comes back for anybody else unless they just throw a shit ton of money at him.
Yeah. So this not only does this fuck up the division, it fucks up the title picture now because now
what is John Jones about to do?
Right, that's the point. Now, John said he will wait till next year. You're doing this fight in fucking September. You could have just waited, did the Derek Lewis fight, whatever, had the John fight next. Could have easily done that. John would most likely be ready by February, some shit like that. I'm pretty sure John will be ready. And if John's not ready, I'm pretty sure Stipe would have been ready for his fucking rematch. This shit, I don't know if Dana doesn't realize the fallout of it, but Dana's smart. I'm pretty sure he knows. But
he does.
I don't think he cares.
No. He's in the moment. This is an in the moment decision. Now who knows what the fuck's happened to heavyweight?
Yeah, it's pathetic. Because we were dead ass looking forward to that John Zugano fight. We were like, okay, we have to wait for it. We'll wait for it.
Right.
But now, and what if Francis fucks around and loses the belt?
Exactly.
What if?
Exactly. Never.
So you lost the money fight, and then there's no other money fight. What if Conor loses against Poirier? There's no more money fight for you.
It's becoming WWE. Nothing's bigger than the brand. Nothing's bigger than the brand. That's
it is. But all right, for lighter topics, you brought this to my attention. We got fighters calling out Sean O'Malley. Go ahead, tell the people what you know.
So Luis Smolka was originally supposed to be Sean O'Malley's opponent next week. That's the pay-per-view next week, UFC 264. Luis Smolka had to pull out. I believe it was like staph infection, something of that nature. So he had to pull out of the fight. Immediately upon news that Sean O'Malley now needed a replacement opponent, motherfuckers came out the woodworks trying to get this fight with Sean O'Malley. I'll be clear with you. Sean O'Malley's a good fighter to me. He's also still not ranked, but he is a big name and he has a big following, and people want to take advantage of that shit. Now, if you recall, Sean O'Malley was out here trying to call out Petr Yan and trying to get with the big boys. But first off, just the status of the fighters who called him out, you kind of see where Sean O'Malley stands. We're not talking about the top of the guys, top of the division, but there were a lot, including Tim Elliott, who was a former title challenger at 125, won the Ultimate Fighter and challenged Mighty Mouse. We also had Ricky Simone. We had Ray Borg, another former title challenger at 125. We had, this thing is loading up very slow right now. Giga, who's a division up, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Giga called him out. We had Merab Dvalishvili. No, hell no. Stay away from Giga, Sean O'Malley. He might kick your body into. He literally might kick your body into. Stay far away from that shit. Cody Stamen, who's ranked 14th in the division currently right now. The highest ranked fighter, Merab Dvalishvili, who's ranked 10th in the division right now. And in addition to himself mentioning it, had two other fighters in John Vellante and Ally Aquinta both campaigning for Merab Dvalishvili to get this fight. Brian Kelleher also asked for the fight. I said Cody Stamen. Ray Borg, I said. Giga. The Giga one is just weird. And someone who's not even in the UFC, the LFA champ at 135. I'm not going to try to say his name. Look it up. No, I'm not doing that. So, yeah, everyone was trying to hop on this Sean O'Malley bandwagon to get that big fight. In the end, it ended up going to another fighter who is making his UFC debut by the name of Chris Moutinho. Chris Moutinho, who is most recently fought in Cage Fury Fighting Championships. He's 9-4. They're protecting O'Malley. They're meds.
Yeah, you make a good point. Usually I could dispute it with you, like how we usually go back and forth.
Right.
But I mean, Sean better win. that's all. Hey, look, Sean, you better win. You better knock this guy out first round. I'm sorry.
He has to.
First round.
To. You're fighting no disrespect, Chris Moutinho. You're a fighter. I got respect in the world for anyone who's stepping in the cage, but like you've won fights in a row. Like it.
Okay.
It's not even like you're getting a dude coming off the regional circuit who's won 5-6 straight, looks like a prospect. You're getting a dude who's won 2 fights in a row. They're protecting O'Malley. Protect your investment. I get it.
Here's my only pushback. Out of all the fighters that you named, would you take them on a week notice if you're Sean O'Malley? The fight's the next Saturday, right? Correct.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Are you taking any of those fighters on a week notice?
Not Dvalishvili. That's for
definitely
not. Definitely not him. In general, no. But
like you said, like no, I wouldn't either. That was kind of
yes, you're right. you talk way too much shit to then be ducking dudes even on a week's notice.
Does he?
Yes! You called out Piotr. You're not ranked, and you're calling out the rightful champ of the division.
That's different. That's not saying, hey, Peter Yan, I'm going to fight you fucking next week. That's bro. Like, we could set the fight up. Like, it's not. I'm just saying this kind of.
Yes, I understand that. It's the way he looks at I'm sure he doesn't 100% believe it actuality, but he talks as if all of these dudes are beneath him. Chito Vera beat him, literally beat him in the cage, and he still he injured him. He kicked him in the nerve, and he couldn't continue. He lost the fight. He still looks at that like, you ain't really beat me. You're still beneath me. I'm still Sean O'Malley. You're not ranked. You can't be talking like that. And then be like, I'm not saying he's ducking because that would imply that they offered these fights to him. I don't know what they offered to him. So that's not fair to say he's ducking them. I'm just saying this is the type of shit that's going to happen when you talk the way he does.
I don't have a problem with him talking to me. I just don't like. I get the energy. I like the energy. Like I
like the energy. Except what comes with it.
Like I said, I get your point. I get it. But I'm not taking none of them niggas on a week notice. I totally get it.
I won't argue that.
I get it. I'm just not
won't argue that.
On a week notice. I'd beat the shit out of a kid too if I had to. Hey, yo, come in here. I just need a tune-up fight, man. There's not even a fight that I was preparing for, bro. Like, let me just tune you up real quick, and then we can talk about another couple months down the line.
Right, because he's still got a long ways to go before he gets to anything worth a shit.
Okay, let me ask another question. Who should Sean O'Malley fight?
I'm honestly not opposed. Like, I thought the Louis Smolka fight was a good fight for him. Like, that was a good matchmaking wise. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like, he should get a fight against someone kind of in that at the highest level. The last five, somewhere in the 12 to 15 range of the rankings, if not an underranked person, which is why Louis Smolka was a good idea for him. Right. So I'm not opposed to the matchmaking. Short notice, you got to take what you can get. I'm not opposed to it. I'm really not. Like, none of this is Sean O'Malley's fault. Right. Like, I'm not trying to do that. None of this is his fault. This is just the situation that got presented to him. It is what it is. But when you talk like this, you got to accept what comes with it. Now, if he wins this fight, now, even still, like, I don't know exactly where he goes. Like,
yeah, me neither.
Because he talks like he should be fighting these top 5 dudes, and he don't need to make that jump yet. And a lot of these other kind of that 7 to 12, 13 range, you know, you talking about on the older level, you got the Frankie Edgar, Dominic Cruz, Pedro Munoz, Jimmy Rivera, like rough, tough, durable motherfucker, like that will hurt you if you're not ready at that level. Like, that's the kind of guys you're looking at right now. A Sun Sal. Like, guys like that. That's who's kind of in that range next if he was to win that fight. So, like, I mean, if I'm him, I'm trying to fight one of the legends. Being smart. I'm trying to fight Frankie. I'm trying to call out Frankie Dominic Cruz, get that name on your resume if you can win that fight. I'm just like, to me, that's what you shoot for. Like, if you're gonna have to fight one of these vets, you'd rather get the one with the name and a Frankie or a Cruz than a guy like a Jimmy Rivera who's just as, if not more dangerous, but doesn't do as much.
I like the Dominic Cruz fight a lot more than I like the Frankie Edgar fight.
Really? I'm the opposite.
Really?
I'm more concerned with Frankie's well-being than I am with Dominic's.
He got caught, man.
He used to never get finished. He's gotten finished like
That
2-3 times now.
Okay, well,
he's gotten finished like 2-3 times now.
That was a nasty ass knee, bro.
I understand that. I'm just more. Frankie's been in more wars. Cruz has lost, but he hasn't been in as many wars. He got called by Cejudo, but he was starting to look good. Like that was you got called was looking good.
That was a knock off the Russ fight. I'm not
right. To me, Cruz is a little more dangerous. Frankie has been more active and has kind of it's a little concerning. But then Frankie will throw in a fight where he looks like Frankie Evolved again, and you don't know. So either way, like all of these fights are dangerous.
Yeah, I think Frankie presents him more danger than Dominic Cruz does.
Yeah, potentially.
I'm gonna be real. The last couple of Dominic Cruz fights I've seen, not impressed.
The Cejudo, I really hate that the Cejudo fight ended when it did, because it literally ended just as he looked like he was finding his footing.
Yeah.
And that's why I hate about that fight. Like it was just like, oh, here comes the movement. Here we go. The Casey Kenny fight, he looked good. That was a good fight. That was a tough fight. Like Casey Kenny was good, but he looked good in that fight. Like not amazing world beater, but he looked good. His movement is still there. So to me, that would be a fun fight. But I mean, that entire like staying out of the top five. I'm staying out of the top five in that division. Here's who's next. Starting at number 6, Marlon Moraes, Frankie Edgar, Pedro Munoz, Dominic Cruz, Valishvili, Asuncao, Jimmy Rivera, Chito Vera's 13, and then Cody Stamann at 14. Like that's the level that 135 is. That is not no names. None of all of those dudes are established, long time, really, really high level fighters. Every one of them.
Right.
So, you better make a leap, Sean, real soon. Like,
you know what I'm about to say. Good luck, Sean. I mean, you better beat this kid in a spectacular fashion, man. Like that's all I gotta say, bro. You better beat this kid in spectacular fashion, because it's gonna be a tough road from here on out, man. Like Dana's not gonna keep giving you these opponents that you should beat. If you beat this guy, well, let me ask you a question. Do you give him the rematch with the dude that beat him?
I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
I'm not opposed to it.
If he beats this kid, do you give him?
If he beats him and do the Chito Vera rematch, I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to that fight at all. I'm okay with that, since there were apparently questionable circumstances surrounding the finish to some people. That ain't questionable to me. If I kick you and you can't use your leg no more, nigga, I'll win. Like, what are we? He didn't step and hurt it. He didn't turn his ankle randomly making a step. I kicked you and hurt you. There's no question on that fight.
I think I said this to my friend Callie the other day. Like, we were talking about Phase 10, and she won, but I beat myself. I didn't lose. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference in between losing and beating yourself. Like, I
agree with that.
I don't say you won. I just say I beat you.
How does that apply to
that fight? Never mind. I don't want to be.
How does that apply to that fight?
I don't want to be hypocritical. Never mind. I don't want to get cooked. Never mind. Just forget I said that. Just totally forget I said that. Because as soon as I said that, shit start, especially a couple of some Hudo wins, started circling in my head, and I knew you were about to bring that up. So you know what? Never mind. Forget
Marlon. Oh, Marlon Moraes. So disappointed in you.
Forget I said that, bro. Forget.
Oh, man.
All right, our last topic for today. On a lighter topic.
You got to.
First, start out with Firas Zahabi, what he said. So
Firas Zahabi, coming off the Nate Diaz loss to Leon Edwards, Faraz Zahabi said, and I quote, "If you put him in a fight where there is no time limit, I think he beats 90." Talking about Nate, I think he beats 99% of fighters. You can't sub him. You can't finish him. The guy doesn't stop walking forward. He puts volume on you. He is the scariest, in my opinion, street fighter in MMA. I think if you had to fight him in the street, you're in for the fight of your life. Ain't going to be no judges standing you up in between rounds. There's no judge to come and give you the win. No. And then he kind of just went on and some other shit about how he would have beat Leon Edwards. That was the case. One, motherfucker, these are the rules in the UFC. You know what the goddamn rules are.
That was my exact
dumb
point
as
when you
shit.
saw that. That was
You
my
made that
exact
immediately.
Hey, look, bro. Look, Nate, get it done in 5 rounds. I don't want to hear that shit. I'm sorry. Get it done in 5 rounds. I don't want to hear, if we made
it's in the
6th
contract.
or 7th round that you would win. I don't want to hear that shit. I'm sorry, Nate. I couldn't give that to you. I got mad respect for Nate Diaz too, and I kind of, in a weird way, I do kind of agree with him.
I understand what he's saying.
Yes,
I don't disagree with it.
I get it too.
It's in the contract.
Gotta
but
get it done. Gotta get it done.
For the sake of this, I pose to you the question of if we're going by those Faraz Zahabi rules. No time limits, just going until someone is done. Who are you taking? Who's your number one guy that you're taking in that situation?
Number one? You want me to go ahead and go number one?
Okay, we can start at 3.
Number 3, I'm going to go with. Now, see, it's another question. Because I'm going off top. I didn't sit down and think about this. You know what
I've been kind of thinking about it over the last day, but I haven't really read.
Yeah, I haven't really.
I'm kind of the same.
Because I got your message at I saw it at 3 a.m. and I was knocked out. but that's besides the point. Are we talking about current active fighters, or are we talking about
whoever?
Okay.
Whoever. Because I definitely have one legend. In my, I've been struggling with my third, but I have one legend.
Let me hear yours first.
Okay, my number. I've been kind of going back and forth on it.
Because I just want to see if we think alike on this. I just want to see, because I was when you asked me the question, I immediately thought, okay, let's see if we have at least one of the same pick. So
my third. Okay, I'm a little concerned based on, the time and can he go as long as just no time. But I just don't think this dude would allow anything would go that long. So I'm going with Francis Ngannou for my number 3.
That's not a bad pick at all.
I'm so-and-so can't be fit. He can't be finished by most people. Francis Ngannou ain't most people. So I will go Francis Ngannou with my number 3 pick on that, because I just no rules. So you talking about that kind of pay? You already got small gloves. No, I got no gloves, no rules. Good luck.
All right. So my number 3 pick is Robbie Lawler.
That is a good one. I'm mad I did not think of Robbie. That is a very good pick.
Just picture you having to fight this nigga for an extended period of time. It'll be a bad fucking day. But I think he was the first name I thought about, actually. It's like, yo, Robbie Lawler. I immediately was like, yeah, I wouldn't want to be in the street fight with Robbie Lawler at all.
That makes a lot of sense. That is a great pick. Robbie is definitely someone that, yeah, that's fucking Robbie. Number 2, and this was the first name that came to my mind, and this is my legend pick. Give me peak Wanderlei Silva. The fucking axe, there is nothing that Wanderlei Silva will not do to absolutely destroy somebody in every way possible. Peak Vanderlei. The first time I was ever like, yo, this dude is kind of scary, was literally watching Vanderlei do that weird glove shit in front of his face where you can only see his eyes before a fucking pride fight. Like, I was like, yo, this motherfucker is scary. Ridiculous power, relentlessness, and is literally fucking insane. I want 0 parts of Vanderlei Silva in any kind of street fight.
Okay. It's a nice pick. Nice pick. My second pick, I went with experience.
Okay.
You gotta know who I'm talking about.
I have an idea.
Jorge Masvidal, man.
Ooh. Okay.
You want to see Masvidal in the street fight? Masvidal's been in plenty of street fights.
That's a fact.
Especially the killer that Masvidal is. Fuck him just getting knocked out by Usman. Forget all that. But just all we need to do is take a look back to see what he did to Nate Diaz. Like, that's all we need to do. It's just to look back and Ben Askren. That's all we need to do. You want to get in a street fight with that guy? Hell no. Sorry. No, fuck no. Fuck no. Disclaimer, I don't want to get in the street. My worst fear. I don't have a lot of fears in life, right? My worst fear is me being at the bar and me getting in an attitude with a little nigga and he turned out to be like a UFC MMA fighter. That's my biggest fear. I'm going to keep it a full buck. That is my biggest fear. So there's no slight to anybody else that we naming.
Fact.
Says about
that is a good one. That is a good one. Yeah, he's also scary and insane.
Mm-hmm. Well, who's your number one pick?
My number one pick is probably someone that a lot of people wouldn't consider.
Okay.
But considering what Zahabi said, no time limit, always going forward, never gets finished, just all heart, constant action, always going forward, I'm taking Max Holloway.
Oh, he's definitely somebody.
I am taking. Listen, you want to. When have you? I'm talking heart. You can't put him down. You put it. He's getting right back up. He's coming forward again. Hands for days. Active as shit. And like you said, no time. Like my concern with some other guys, I don't know if you're gonna be able to really go as long if this shit lasts. I have 0 concerns that Max Holloway can go an hour straight punching niggas in the face.
Mm-hmm.
None. And he from Hawaii. He don't give no fucks about none of that bullshit. He's with all the smoke, always has been. All of the qualities I need. Maybe he ain't got the power that a lot of motherfuckers do. We in a street fight. Most of these motherfuckers ain't got chins like that anyway. Max is putting a lot of fucking people to sleep, and he ain't gonna stop. Give me Max Blessed Holloway number 1.
That was I had a tie in between him and my pick. Let me ask you this question. Let me see if you can figure out my pick. Now we're going to Memphis in a couple of weeks, right? What do I always tell Gerard and Marcus I'm going to do to them?
Oh shit!
Can you remember?
I mean, you didn't say he was going to choke him out.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Who do you think my pick is?
Not fucking Damian Maia or Jacare or fucking.
No, you're way off.
I know that. So I think I've been choking people out. I don't got it.
Khabib Nurmagomedov, boy.
Nigga fought Bears. I can't argue with it.
Khabib Nurmagomedov, boy. Hey, look.
Bears.
Look. He's the little nigga I'm scared to fight. Him.
I cannot argue that point at all.
He's the nigga I'm scared to fight. Just picture it. You throw your first punch. Take down.
He just grabs you.
Immediate takedown. It's not even, bro, I'm giving you a chance to throw your fucking hands. It's literally, bro, you threw the first punch. You're on the ground. I'm mounting you. I'm beating the shit out of you.
Moving.
And then I'm choking you the fuck out. It's a motherfucking nightmare.
There's a helplessness factor with Khabib.
That's my point. That's my point. It's complete domination in the street fight. Like, it's not like you have zero chance. It's not I might be able to slip something and catch him on some wild shit. None of that. It's literally none of that. It would be your worst option.
Whatever hype energy you have, whatever alcohol energy, whatever you're on, all that shit is gonna get beaten up out you with fucking Khabib in full mount. Not just fucking you up, but we know he's also talking to you while he's doing it too.
Exactly.
You know, exactly. I must hurt you. You have to give up.
I didn't even want to do this, my friend. Like literally, like I didn't even want to do this, bro. But you brought me here.
You made me do this.
You did this. Nah, man. Khabib's my number one pick, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
I'm not mad at that. I am not mad at that.
And don't get it twisted. Khabib can throw hands too. Right?
Oh yeah. I mean, again,
he can throw hands too.
We talking street fighters appearing to the he can't really fight. He'll fuck you up. I also considered Amanda Nunes a little bit too.
I wouldn't want to fight Amanda.
Amanda's scary.
No,
definitely considered Amanda Nunes as well. That was one that was like, ooh, yeah, she's
another one I thought about was probably Eddie Alvarez. I definitely thought about the Max Holloway one.
Max, I thought of Diego just for pure insanity factor.
Yeah,
for pure insanity of like, I feel like very few people would cover as much ground in like a 30-minute street fight as Diego would.
Dustin Poirier.
I thought about him as well.
I definitely thought about
Dustin.
I thought about Gaethje too, because JP.
Yeah, I definitely thought about Gaethje too.
Does not give a fuck if he gets knocked out. That is
right.
That's a problem.
Yep. Gaethje came through in my mind. I thought about Rampage. I definitely thought about Rampage. That was kind of who I was going back and forth on. And my last pick was between Rampage and Ngannou. Because Rampage and the street,
Shit, Kimbo Slice. Gotta give Kimbo Slice.
I thought about him too. He popped up in my head. Fedor popped up in my head. I thought about Fedor. Absolutely, I thought about Fedor. That shit is stone face. Fedor is scary because you wouldn't know if you pissed him off or not. He'd just be beating the shit out of you, and you'd be wondering why he has such anger towards you, but his face hasn't changed at all. Like, nah, there was a lot of people who could be considered. I like the 3 different lists.
I like the John Jones pick too.
I considered it. I considered
John. I think John would be a fucking nightmare to fight, man. There's something wrong with John.
I thought about all the like the top guys like John Anderson Silva, like.
And if you're fighting John Jones in the bar, 9 times out of 10 he's coked up. So I'm sorry, John. I love you, but we know that's what you do. 9 times out of 10, John will be coked out. You don't want to fight no cokehead. I'm sorry. You don't want to do that. I've done it.
I thought about John. I thought about guys like John or Silva. I
thought about Silva.
I needed a little more insane factor.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, I gotta have Vanderlei. Max is crazy. Like, he's a nice motherfucker, but Max is wild. And Ngannou, just that fucking, I don't give.
I don't know why Ngannou didn't cross my mind. Ngannou's the perfect pick.
Ngannou,
I had Ngannou number 1.
Ngannou will like one punch 12, 13 motherfuckers.
This is why I didn't consider Ngannou. This is why. Fighting Ngannou in the street fight? No. How fucking big Ngannou is.
Yep.
You want to talk shit to him?
You might not have to talk shit to him. You don't always fight the people that you talk shit to. Talk shit to his homeboy in the bar and then
and
Ngannou pop up.
Then you apologize immediately.
Immediately.
There's no fight. There's no fight.
None.
Hey, bro, I'm breaking out. Like, I don't.
Shit. You know what? What Kevin Hart say? Look,
matter of fact,
give me a hug.
Make me pop this trunk, nigga. Like, hey, look.
You won't have the chance. It's gonna be one punch, and you're gonna be face down on the floor. By the time you think about popping the trunk, nigga, the bar done cleared out. You going to sleep. You don't have that option. You're sleeping. Just like everyone. And it's like everyone else. You're going to sleep. It just is what it is.
Can I think of anybody else? Do I have anybody else? Cain Velasquez. I want to fight Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, Cain is a little scary too, especially I'm from Cali. You see someone with a brown pride. Like if he can't get mad and take off his shirt and he got a brown pride tattoo across his chest, I'm now a little bit concerned with what he's capable of.
Brock Lesnar's another one.
Yeah, Brock just on pure size and scariness. Shevchenko being from Kazakhstan and having the skills that she has is petrifying to me.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's nice, and you think she's good. Yeah, no. Better hope she got a dress on that day or something. If Shevchenko walks in some sweats and some Nikes and her hair in a ponytail, be very afraid.
Shit, Rose Namajunas.
Same shit. There's a lot. It's crazy. It's fun though. Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I knew that would be a good one.
Yeah, it was. I didn't know it would be that good, but thinking about it and shit, like me coming off with my picks off the top of the dome, those were really good picks. I didn't
that Robbie one. You said Robbie, I'm like, damn. Robbie was the first
person I thought about, dude.
It's one of my favorite moments in UFC history is end of round 4 versus Rory McDonald, and Robbie just stands there and eyes him, just like, yeah, I'm here. Lips split in 2. I'm right here. You're gonna have to kill me. It's levels.
Yoel Romero's another one.
Yeah, that's that insane factor we were talking about. Yeah.
You need Jesus. Like you
just about like as a spectator, you see a fight breaking out and you just see a dude say, "You need Jesus," while knocking people out. I'm not staying for that. I'm leaving. I'm getting the fuck away because I love you. You Jesus for Jesus. What? Nah. Hell nah. Nope.
Man, it comes to my original point. I wouldn't want to fight any fucking UFC fighter, man. That's like a fear that I have. Especially because a lot of them are from North Carolina. Thankfully, the ones that are from North Carolina are big as fuck. They're not like kind of like miniature. Wait, where's Don Nasty from?
He's from the South. I think he's from like Mississippi or Alabama or some shit.
Really? You think? Okay.
I want to say something like that, but I'm not. Let me see if this pops up real quick. Arkansas.
Okay, I don't have to worry about him. But, all right.
Yeah.
I talk a lot of shit, so especially when I'm drunk in the bar. Hey, yo, do me a favor. Babysit me when we go to Memphis.
I'll make no promises. We'll try.
Okay, that's cool.
I won't let you get into it. Like I told him, I wouldn't let nobody. There would be no jumps going. If you're the instigator and it's a 1-on-1 fight, I won't let it get out of hand. But you might have to catch a 1-on-1 fight.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I ain't letting nobody jump. We ain't letting nobody jump nobody. We ain't like that. That shit ain't gonna happen. I told my homeboy, I was like, look, you get drunk and you started, it's a 1-on-1 fair one, you just gonna have to catch that fade. I'll be there. I'll make sure don't shit get out of hand. You get caught and they try to stomp you, so like none of that shit's going down. Yeah. But you're gonna catch the 1-on-1 because this your
Gerard and Marcus are definitely getting choked the fuck out of us. So that's definitely happening. But other than that, I think I'll be all right in Memphis. Like, it should be a good time. Positive words? You got anything?
LA is still a Lakers town. Fuck the Clippers. Ha, ha, ha. And fuck Pat Bev. This is not positive words.
Oh my God. We'll save that Pat Bev shit for Saturday.
We will.
I'm so fucking disgusted with that. It doesn't make any sense. Do I have any positive words? I know it has nothing to do with MMA, but respect to Paul George, man. See, the thing about Paul George that has me so emotionally invested in his success is the mental aspect of it.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? Just him not realizing how great he is. I dead ass think that that's the problem. And the more confidence PG gets, I honestly feel we'll start to see the PG of old. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I saw glimpses of that during the series, and that's kind of what made me happy. It's like, damn, PG, yeah, niggas is who you are. So in saying that, everybody check on your mental health.
Always.
Believe in who you are. Like, everybody has doubts. Everybody has depression. Everybody has bad days. Everybody has shit happen to them that makes them second guess who they are. You're fucking great. Remember who you are. That's my positive word for today. I like how I flipped that. I didn't have no intention of doing that, but I like how I flipped that.
I love it.
But all right, shit. Show next Thursday, right?
Yes, sir.
Definitely show next Thursday because we got a big card coming up.
Oh yeah.
Save our predictions for then. We haven't talked about it. It's kind of weird. We haven't talked about that Poirier Conor McGregor 3 at all. So
yeah, it's all right. We save it. I mean, we've made our little comments because you definitely think that Conor's getting Poirier the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's happening. I'm sorry, Conor rematch. Conor is different. That's one thing I gotta hold on to. Rematch Conor after Conor loses is different.
Okay, thank you for specifying because I could have sworn
yes. I understand the Poirier was a rematch. I get it. I'm not talking about that rematch. I'm talking about when Conor loses. This is what will tell me if Conor is done or not. This will tell me if Conor is washed or if he's not. This is it right here. So, should be interesting. Can't wait for next week.
Poirier by KO. TKO by finish. It just said by finish.
Yeah, he'd have to mount him for that. I don't see it happening the way it happened again. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't see it. I don't see it. All right, y'all. We're out of here. Gerard, I know you. Are you still backstage, or is your camera just up there for no fucking reason? Do you have anything? I'm gonna give you literally 10 seconds before I end this shit. And
I'm looking at the clock. I'm looking at the clock.
Well,
that's 10.
Gerard isn't here. Apparently, the sun is frying his brain. He don't know how to fucking. You know what I'm saying? Because you know he's bald and it's hot as fuck out here. So
it is.
It's frying Gerard's brain. You know it. So, all right, guys, we're out of here. We'll see y'all next week.
For sure.
You're a paper champion. Just want to say that.
You brought this on yourself. You mentioned the belt. You mentioned it. You could have gone on the show without it. Now you mentioned it. Champ is here. We'll see you on Saturday.
We'll see you on Saturday. I gotta get you to show that. It's because I'm a good host. But whatever. You're welcome. I'll let y'all later, man.
Peace.